Welcome back to the Celtics Nation Rise recap. I'm Griffin Aldrich. Alongside me, we got David Caires and Daniel Miguel. And happy Easter, everyone. We didn't really do anything on the podcast about that one. I think this is one of, if not the most important holiday. We gotta love Easter. I'm a big Easter guy. Ate some good food today. The Easter Bunny came last night. I gotta say. But happy Easter, everyone. But most importantly, Celtics get the dub today as well on Easter Sunday with a final score of 115 to 101 to the Toronto Raptors. You guys know the drill. Initial thoughts. How are we feeling? We'll start off with you, David, and go ahead, Daniel, and back to myself. What are your thoughts after this big win?
I only watched 10 minutes of the game, but go team. No, I'm just kidding. That part is true. I only did see 10 minutes, but happy to see the last 10 minutes, but happy to see the Celtics come out with the victory on Easter Sunday. I know Neemias Queta was a big part of that, specifically in the second half, in the first half, from what I heard, scoring 16 of his 18 in those first 24 minutes. Give credit to the Raptors, obviously, for hanging around a ton. It did, they were hovering around, especially in those last 10 minutes, the only 10 minutes, again, that I saw. It was around like 9, 10, 11 points, but the Celtics, as they usually do and as they've done plenty of times, were able to close that game out with great defense. I mean, it felt like Tatum and Brown had a million steals in those last few minutes. And even though Derek White only ended up with 10 points, he had a huge three in the corner towards the end. And really, Tatum, his playmaking specifically at the end, too, was spectacular. Like, I know I'm just pointing out specific plays here, but that's all I can speak to. He had one assist late where it's a crazy pass to the corner to Hauser, and then Hauser drove over the rim and got a reverse layup and one. So, I saw this comment online that Tatum has evolved so much potentially just from sitting out most of this year due to the fact that he had to watch the game from a coach's perspective. And plays like that make me think that is just so accurate where, you don't want to say this was a good thing for Tatum to sit out most of this year because obviously it was due to a terrible thing that happened to him. But the playmaking is even better than what I saw from Tatum last year when he was at his peak. So I just want to touch on Tatum's playmaking there. I mean, pretty balanced day from the starting five, just looking at the stats. Brown led the way. Tatum both had over 20 points. White had 10, Queta 18, as I said, and Hauser was the only one, the starting five, not in double digits, and then Pritchard off the bench with a quick 17. Obviously, we'll go over the stats a little bit more, but yeah, just really, a solid victory and keep the victories coming as we get closer to playoffs.
Yeah, and before you go, Daniel, I really want to mention this comment really quick. I agree 100%. This team does keep rising, and Tatum looks like he's played a whole season already. You're so right on that. I love this comment. So shout out, like this 100%. But Daniel, go ahead.
I agree. Also, first of all, I just want to say I love this win streak we're building. I mean, the fact that I wanted us to end the season strong, and ever since that Hawks loss, we've been firing on all cylinders. For the past 3 games, you have the Heat, the Bucks, which were both blowouts, and now you have the Raptors, which wasn't a blowout, but I'd call it a comfortable win. For the most part, it was kind of tough to kind of separate from them in the first half. It was kind of like back and forth. But I think in that third quarter and definitely the fourth quarter, we're able to establish that lead, that comfortable lead, and just build upon it and keep it there for the rest of the game. So I'm happy that the guys were, able to not be down that much. We're going to get into that leads and stuff and when we talk about quarters, but I think this is just another one of those games where everybody played their part. You mentioned, David, 5 players in double digits. We've consistently had 5 players in double digits, and that's something else to talk about, something else that I'm happy about. And it seems like, this Pritchard transition off the bench he's back to his old self, at least for the past few games. And hopefully, there's no better time than now to kind of hit that ceiling, and just keep improving. This is a different Pritchard than the one we've been seeing and talking about the past month or so. It seems like he's found his rhythm again, and we really needed it now at this time of the season. especially off the bench. So I'm glad he's finally got it going. Guys like Shireman, who on the stat sheet you don't see much. Today he had 5 points and 5 assists, but there are nights where stat lines might be low, but his impact in the game has been shown. Same with Hauser. We don't get as the same production from him as we used to get. That's not what we need anymore. We just need him to hit his open shots, which he does. So I'm happy with him as well. It seems like all of our guys are finally hitting that stretch at this moment, which is crucial. Players like Caires finally finding the form. These past few games, he's been amazing. Tatum, Jaylen Brown with another 20-point game. White, doing the little things. And it just seems like, all the pieces are connecting towards the playoffs. And, this is, once again, the perfect time to have all these guys pitch in and contribute in these ways like they did tonight. And so I'm happy that this was a team win.
Yeah, my initial thoughts, it was nice to see Vucevic come back tonight. Obviously not a wow performance tonight. I mean, we'll get into the stats, obviously, but only played 13 minutes tonight. And I believe he had 2 turnovers in there, too. So a little shaky, to say the least. But again,
he's fouls as well.
What was that?
That's 4 fouls as well, but that's understandable, yeah.
He's just been out with an injury. We're going to see more production from him. So nothing bad. You love to see Vucevic back in there. That's what I have to say. But you guys, we're not going to see our faces shift over. I know we're going very quick today because, it's Easter. Everyone's celebrating today. So you're not going to see our beautiful faces for a few minutes. But Daniel, we'll turn it over to you if you don't mind breaking down the quarters for us.
Yeah, very happy to welcome the sea of green for the most part. There's a little bit of red in that second quarter, but we didn't talk about that because we ended up with the win. And as you can see in that fourth quarter, it was amazing basketball to grow out that lead. But yeah, like I said, first quarter, really close game, both teams scoring 26. Then you go into the second quarter where we established some sort of a lead, 8-point lead at the half, scoring 28 points compared to the Raptors 20. That second quarter is also where they had their biggest lead, which was 8. Third quarter, once again, like I said, it was a close game. They scored 31 points compared to our 26. And we go into the fourth, only up 3. I'm pretty sure if my math is right. But yeah, that fourth quarter was massive for us because, we have guys like Tatum finally, contributing a lot to that fourth quarter with 6 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. And other guys who also contributed to that fourth quarter leap to help us get that win and help us get our biggest lead of the game at 18. As you can see by that differential and below the differential. So yeah, fourth quarter was really big for us. And this is something I'm going to mention again and again. In past seasons, you'd see us, not really give up, but also not keep our foot on the gas after that third quarter. They'd probably find a way to creep in and maybe get this win late in the fourth. But this is a different team we're facing with a different mentality. And we came into that fourth hungry for that win, hungry for those points that we scored, and we got them, and we ended up getting the win. So this is short praise to Mazzulla as well, because again, he changed this team's mentality so much in the past few years that he's been the coach. So I think Mazzulla has a lot to do with that fourth quarter. So yeah, great win.
No, and I love what you said right there, Daniel, too, about the team keeping their foot on that gas pedal because they hammered it down. Like down the stretch, they did anything you needed. And that's what we need in playoffs. I think this is a textbook win for the Celtics because it's what you want to see in playoffs. Obviously it's a Sunday early game, 3:30, everyone's rhythm is off and stuff, but you turned it around and you did what you had to do in order to get this win, and you love to see it. Yeah, but David, if you don't mind going into the Raptor stats for us and breaking that down for us.
Do you want to address this comment in the chat before we do that?
Yes, 1 second. I'm just reading this too. If it was 2023, we would have giving up the lead. Yeah, I agree 100%. If this was
Definitely.
even last year, I think, even last year with I think last year we had a problem on being consistent and giving up the lead, and I agree with this 100%. JT and JB have really evolved into true leaders, and you're completely right on this. Do you guys have anything else you want to say on this?
Yeah, I mean, no, I 100% agree that they've just really matured over the years. I think a lot of that comes with experience, where we've experienced, especially with them at the helm, so many highs and so many lows. And through all of that, you've learned how to close out games a lot better. And we specifically saw that in the championship season. I'm honest. I personally think we did that a lot in the regular season last season. We won't talk about what happened the second round of the playoffs because that was a different story. And this is Easter. I don't want to unpack old wounds, but this year, specifically in this game, yeah, absolutely. That was just classic championship like basketball from JT and JB, and then that has a ripple effect on the people around you 100%. Like besides JT and JB, I mean, it's a lot of youngsters as the contributors on the team this year. So whether they were on the court or not, I think seeing how they lead by example and closing out games is only going to rub off on them and just help them in future situations when they're put in those positions. So yeah, I mean, we could do a whole 6 or 7 hour podcast on JT and JB evolving as leaders, and yeah, I mean they've come a long way, and it's crazy to think that they've been with the team together both for about a decade now.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I mentioned it in a previous podcast. I think it was 91 where I said it, or it might be 90. One of the podcasts that was closer to Tatum's return, and I mentioned how lucky we are as Celtics fans to have this duo for almost a decade now, like you said, David. And it's just such a blessing to know that there are so many duos out there that get disbanded without even playing 4 or 5 years together, and we have this duo that have been evolving and building upon each other and building the franchise as well for the past 10 years, hopefully more, knock on wood. So yeah, it's just been great to see them evolve from who they were. This isn't high top JB and Ricky Tatum anymore, even though Ricky Tatum was amazing. I still recall that dunk on LeBron that he had. But anyways, they're different players, and especially Brown in the past 2 years, who's had to evolve from who's had to evolve to a main facilitator, and branching out his game more with those assists and rebounds instead of just focusing on scoring. And in the past 2 years, we've seen a lot more from Brown than we've expected, especially with no Tatum. So not only has it been a great season, I think it's been a great individual progress and growth from both of those guys. And like you said, Griffin, not only that, we have so many guys, so many other little guys that are X factors for this team and contributing factors other than Tatum and Brown. So it's just a wonderful team we have, and I can't wait to see what more we can establish and prove in the playoffs.
Without a doubt. But David, if you don't mind getting into the quarters, Raptors stats. Geez, I'm used to you doing the quarters. I have to say.
Right, all hands on deck with playoffs being right around the corner and members load managing. We all. I'm just kidding. No shade. Everyone, I'm not trying to cause drama here in CNR, but happy to help when there's less people here. So Raptors, very balanced effort all across the board. They had 7 people in double figures scoring wise, all five starters and 2 guys off the bench. Walter was the leading scorer for the Raptors in 32 minutes. He had 16 points on 6 of 9 shooting. Then Barrett and Ingram each scored 15 points each. Barrett had 15, 5, and 4 on 6 of 17 shooting. Ingram had 15, 3, and 4 on 6 of 13 shooting. And then Podol at the center position at 14 points on 7 of 9 shooting. And then Scotty Barnes, flirted with the triple-double, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists on 5 of 14 shooting. Then the two guys off the bench, Murray Boyles in 26 minutes off the bench at 12 points, 5 and 5. And then I'm probably going to butcher this name, but
Sandro.
What is it?
Let's call him Sandro. That's his first name, unless you want to struggle with that.
So this person in 24 minutes, thank you for that, Daniel. He had in 24 minutes, 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. So very balanced, but not good in quantity of balance, but not enough quality and balance. Obviously, it was not enough because the Celtics won by 14. But that's the stats from the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, and gotta shout out AJ Lawson. I saw him going a couple times today. I saw him in the G League last year, so funny enough. Along with Frank Kaminsky was on that team too for the Raptors 905. So crazy to see that. But for the Celtics tonight, Luka Garza, DMP, Amari, Tanji, Shulga. I think you're expecting that DMP from Luka Garza now that Vucevic is back. But Hugo Gonzalez and Ron both played a minute at the end. No other stats. Jordan Walsh. So I love to see that. It kind of looks like they're giving Walsh a little sample of Hugo's minutes, which he performed tonight. I mean, in 13 minutes, 4 points along with a steal and shot 50%. Vucevic tonight in his return, 4 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. Shot 40%, so not bad tonight. So welcome back, Vucevic. I'm excited to see him play in person on Tuesday. I'm excited for that. But in addition to that, Sam Hauser tonight in 26 minutes had 8 points, 2 rebounds, assist, shot 42.9%. So good night from him. Baylor Shireman off the bench tonight, played 17 minutes, 5 points, 5 rebounds, but shooting numbers a little low. But yeah, we gotta give him a thumbs up. Because I think a solid night. Yeah, thumbs up for Baylor. Thumbs up for Baylor. I thought you had a solid night, but just shooting wise is can be low sometimes. Only 25% tonight. Derek White tonight. I think this is a good Derek White night, and these are the nights that you see where when JT and JB have a good night, Derek White contributes in different ways, and I love to see it. Tonight, in 35 minutes, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and shot 57.1% from the field goal. Then Peyton Pritchard, as you mentioned, David, came off the bench tonight, played 30 minutes, 17 points, a rebound, 3 assists, 3 steals, and shot 38.3% from the field goal. Then we got the two J's. Jaylen Brown tonight played 35 minutes with 26 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and shot 55% from the field goal. And then Jason Tatum, obviously, tonight played 34 minutes. Good night tonight with 23 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, near triple-double, and then had 3 steals and shot 46.7% from the field goal. I knew we were going
to go. Easter. I don't rest even on Easter. I'm always slacking with 6-7 stuff.
Do you do that often on Chasing the Monster? Go check it out for all your Red Sox content.
Yeah, you'll have to watch to find out. If you want the answer to that, you got to watch our content. Come on now.
Hey, I be tuning in.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying for the public in general. I know you guys are always watching, but if you want the answers and you're viewing this, hop over to Chase the Monster and make sure to watch the video.
Good plug right there. David. I have to say. But lastly, for the Boston Celtics tonight, Neemias Queta, who in 34 minutes had 18 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, and shot 90% from the field goal. And I think this is one of the highest minutes he's played all season. Usually they kind of juggle his minutes with Luka Garza or another big, but tonight played a lot of minutes tonight. But now we're creeping up in CNR MVP. Who do you guys have? We'll start off with you, David.
It's funny. I completely forgot that this is part of the program in CNR MVP.
Want me to go first?
You go first. Give me 6 or 7 seconds.
I'm gonna go Neemias Queta tonight. I have to say he was very, very productive, and when I was watching this game from the beginning, he was the person that was keeping this team afloat, and just the efficiency that he scored and how effective he was. And it just shows I had a prediction today, and I'm gonna let you guys know too. It really wouldn't shock me in the next 2 to 3 years if he's an all-star in the NBA. I know that's a hot take, but I think that could totally happen. I think this year the productivity we've seen from the Miasketa is just going to continue to grow, and I'm going to Miasketa tonight. But who want Daniel to go, or are you ready, David?
I'm ready. I'm going to go with Jason Tatum, and
Oh.
this is going to be based on just the 10 minutes I saw, but I love the way he was just commanding the floor as the floor general. Like, it reminded me of when he hit his peak, as I talked about earlier last year, just with the playmaking. And again, I'm going to go back to that pass he had to Hauser at the end. But that, like, I don't even know if Jason Tatum from last year would have made that pass from over 2 players to Hauser in the corner. And then Hauser finished it off with a reverse layup and one. And then Tatum is still not losing his aggressiveness. Like, he had a play towards the end too, where he just, went basically coast to coast off a steal and then took it right to the rim for an easy layup for 2 to pretty much put the game away. So, very, very solid stat line in 34 minutes. The 3 steals on top of it is just the icing on the cake for me. So in my opinion, he was just doing it all on both ends of the floor. So I'm going with JT.
I love when this happens. I think that's what we should start doing, asking if there's a different vote. That way it brings suspense to the last one, because Daniel is going to be the deciding factor, and that's unless he pulls a rabbit out of the hat and goes Jaylen Brown. I mean, but who?
We've had the deciding factor two nights in a row now, and it's kind of exciting. It does build up the suspense. But yeah, just in case the NBA is watching this, just in case anyone in the voting and the most improved player of the year voting is watching this, I'm gonna go over a few streaks here that this guy's been having in the past few games. In let's see, 4 game streaks right now. So in the win against Charlotte, he played 29 minutes. Had a double digit in points, 17 and 8. The game after, Miami, 33 minutes, 16 and 11 with 3 blocks. The game after that, again, 29 points. He's been playing 30 consistently, and I think this is Missoula kind of testing, where he can go to in the playoffs and how many minutes he can play. Against the Bucks, 29 minutes, 19, 10, and 4 blocks. And then tonight, 34 minutes, 18, 7, and 3 blocks. And it has to be an Emia skater for me. And it's the same why I chose him in the last game. In that first half, honestly, nobody's stopping. No one's stopping him. He had 8 points, and a rebound, and assist, and shot 4 for 4 from the field. And then in the second quarter, followed it up with another 4 points. Another 4 shots made, 8 points and 4 rebounds. He just, there's a word I'm looking for, but I just forgot. Growing that lead is just as important as keeping the lead up. And I think setting the tone, that's the phrase I was looking for. Nemias Kid has set the tone in that first quarter. There was nobody else who could do anything about it on that Raptors team. Offensively, same with last game. So these are 2 games in a row now where he's just taken control of the game early on, and I think he's the reason why we were even up at halftime. Because if you don't have that much of a dominant performance, we might see ourselves, not only losing this one, but being down at the half or something. So it's been great seeing his progress, and he deserves most improved player of the year.
Daniel, I think you're his number 1 fan on here, I gotta say, but congratulations.
I wish I was the first to think about making a fan account, Mia Skater Lover. I wish I was the first one to come up with that, because it's really true.
Hop on there. Yo, you gotta hop on there and do one. But congratulations to the Skata, 5th CNR MVP of the season. And I have to say, he's 1 behind Derek White. Derek White has 6, Emia Skata has 5. So
does anyone have 7?
I got rid of it. We'll have to check later. I don't believe so though, because Peyton Pritchard has 9, so I don't think so.
Because then we go 5, 6, then 7.
Oh, gotta love it. But guys, final thoughts before we close out. David, we'll start off with you.
Keep the wins coming. Win on Tatum bobblehead night on Tuesday against Charlotte. Great chance to get revenge from, right around a month ago, a little less than a month ago, when Charlotte came into our house and beat us by whatever that was, 30 or 40. So
David, you're still mad about that. You were really hoping that was Tatum's return game, weren't you?
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It is etched in my memory. I do wish I was right with that. I mean, obviously, for predicting that months and months in advance, being only one game off, I'll take it.
Kudos to you. That's
appreciate that.
And he did score 32 the last time we played him as well. Even though it was away, it was his highest scoring game so far in the season. So I'm glad it happened against the Hornets of all teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a team like the Hornets too, who have had one of the best net ratings since the start of the new year with all their lineups. I mean, this is just going to be another good test for playing against a tough opponent. So, it'll potentially be another simulated playoff environment for them. So, just keep the wins coming, especially in the home crowd. Keep this momentum going, and player to watch for me just quickly is Vucevic if he plays, and just keep ramping him up for playoffs. Hopefully he can take the next step forward and getting ramped up for the postseason.
I agree. I think both me and you, David, had him coming back on that 80 game mark or maybe even 81, but it's surprising to see him back like 5 games. He's going to play 5 games before the playoffs, hopefully. Might miss one because of management and whatnot, but I think it's really good to see him back I wouldn't say this early because I think it is right around the time that he was supposed to be back, but I think it's just good to have another guy to add to the rotation. It's going to be good having him back. And yeah, on to the next one. We have 4 games left, and I have the one against the Knicks circled in my calendar. I'm just waiting for it. It sucks that it's going to be away. I so wish it was home. But yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It really is gonna be a good one. Especially on a team where you're seeing them struggle a lot more now than you did in the earlier in the season. But yeah, it's still gonna be an amazing game, and I can't wait for it. But yeah, for now, on to the Hornets, who've won 8 of their last 11. So they're an incredible team this season so far, and shout out to them. But it's still going to be a win for us, hopefully, knock on wood, and go Celtics. We're going to end this season at home for the last 2 games, and I can't wait to finally put a cap on this one because it's been amazing, and I just can't wait for the playoffs. Go Celtics.
Yeah, Daniel, I have to say, you keep taking my takes. You took the keeping your foot on the gas pedal, and now you took my 4 games left in the season. But you're all good. I love it. But 4 games left. Gotta go after it. I think next game you really potentially start seeing some of your bench players play a little bit more. You might not even see that till the Pelicans and Magic game. But the Celtics are really ramping up for the playoffs, and I can't wait, guys. I'm excited, and happy Easter. Go Celtics. Let's get some wins. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications to be notified every time we upload. And go check out episode 94 of the Celtics Nation Rise podcast. We will see you guys with the next one. Happy Easter, everyone. Peace, you guys.
Peace.